Yo, what is up guys? It's the Nightwing and Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video here today. This is going to be the LCS 2021 Summer Split Week 1 recap. So normally this is called Thoughts and Opinions, but since I kind of rebranded the channel with that last channel update video where I'm just going to be giving you guys content that you like and subscribe for and the content you obviously view, LEC will also change to this as well. This is going to be a lot more easier to digest overall, but it's the same thing. You know, me having somebody here to talk about the LCS or the LEC. T-Root, shout out to him. He will still be the LEC guy, and maybe Track Hawk will be the consistent LCS guy. Maybe. It depends. Maybe. This is trial. We'll see how it works. But overall, man, how you doing, man? So people haven't seen you on the channel for quite some time. So
Man.
how you been?
It's been exhausting. So
Yeah.
a few people might know I am a video production person for a different YouTube channel because, well, you know, of course, got to keep the competitor going.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a rival. We started the channel strictly to be a way of life.
It's probably called some shit like Life of X Live by Me Esports.
No, it's actually called Nightwing Sucks. Sucks with an X. That's exactly.
Oh shit! The other dude's called like fucking Beast Boy or some shit to kind of be the Titans.
There you go. OG.
He watches like Titans and shit and wonders why does Beast Boy only turn into like a fucking lion or some shit.
Yeah, I didn't get that. That's only he busts out like the fucking T-Rex like halfway
he turn into any
like,
animal he wants to.
And he's just like,
yeah.
The fuck was that? Like, where was that in season 1 and 2?
Like people don't know. Beast Boy can turn into like any animal he wants outside of like fish because, well, why would you want to turn into a fish, right? I'm lying.
Why would you want to turn?
Yeah.
Why would you turn into Magikarp when you could have Gyarados? Like,
Magikarp is fire. What are you talking about? But as you guys already know, the LCS 2021 Summer Split kicked off this past weekend. But before we even cover any of that, something even more controversial happened. So as you guys already know, C9 benched Zven for King, their Academy AD carry. Team Liquid's like, you know what? I'm gonna just one-up you. We're gonna actually bench our star player, Alphari, after one game against TSM. Guys, in the comment section of that Alphari video, I know he wasn't benched for fucking losing to TSM. I know that. It's the title of a video. I have to put that there to get you guys to watch it and
to click it.
Yeah, like obviously, guys, I've been watching League since 2014. I know about benchings, substitutions, 10-man roster. You're not telling me anything I already don't know. This is what I told my friend in a truck ride when he gave me a ride to work. This is what probably happened. Team Liquid were probably losing all their scrims online. Then it was announced that the LCS 2021 Summer Split would be put, obviously, on stage. So they probably thought to themselves, okay, we might be a better stage team than we are a scrim team. Because that happens, like, some teams are just better at scrimming, some teams are just better on stage, vice versa. They put their first game against TSM, and they realized, well, this might have been a really close game, but we're still fucking terrible. And then Alphari, I'm not saying he did, maybe said something, or just didn't want to actually play the game they thought about, or maybe he had a disagreement with one of the players, because people are saying that, you know, he had a disagreement with the coaching staff. Maybe he just had a disagreement with one of the players too, because let's be honest here, dude, like, I know people are saying, well, Cloud9, if they had faced Santorin, would have lost in the finals. Alright, so let me just dispel that really quickly. Cloud9 beat that roster a week before they played against the roster with Greg. So stop that. You sound like salty, stupid losers. Shut up.
I'm actually going to go one further.
Okay,
after,
sure.
I'm going to go one further. Low key, they probably would have actually had an easier time versus Santorin just because Blabber was shitting on Santorin. Just like Santorin's kind of more like passive supportive play style.
Yeah.
Blabber was just taking him to Pound Town. Just constantly. So I think the fact that the Armero just popped in and was like super aggressive, like trying to hard carry every game, like threw them off and low key almost won Team Liquid. So it's like
Armeo's the jungler who can stabilize off aggression from other aggressive junglers, right? Santorin literally auto loses to almost every single aggressive jungler. How about I just take a recent example from last year's World Championship. You remember that first game FlyQuest played against Top Esports? That was one of the biggest jungle gaps I have ever seen in my life. He legitimately fumbles against aggressive junglers like Blabber, like Karsa.
100%.
Insert any aggressive jungler right there, right? So when people say, oh, well, Cloud9, if they had faced a Santorin roster, What? They just beat the shit out of them. Actually, they beat them even harder than they did the TL roster they beat in the finals. What? That was a 3-1. And you're going to tell me that that roster is just magically got better and it's going to beat Cloud in the finals? Also, let's not forget, Team Liquid played in the 3rd place match. They literally got an extra day on that stage. Are you fucking kidding me? But whatever. Why would I think about idiots online?
Why would you think about things that actually make sense? Come on, man.
Yeah, like
this is
why
League
put
of
logic
Legends.
into your arguments? What? So as you guys already know, Alphari, at the time of recording this video, he put out a tweet on Twitter about, he alluded to what kind of is happening. And people are going like, well, it's unprofessional for him to do that. What do you want me to do? People are like, well, give us answers. And people kind of give you an answer. Stop being toxic. Oh, no. God. Like, why are you asking for answers and then don't like the answers you're getting? That makes no sense. Like, generally, guys, here's what I think happened. He had an argument potentially with some of his teammates or coaching staff. He disagreed about how they wanted to play the game. And then they just chose to bench him. Now, is it a right decision? I don't personally think so. And this is another argument I thought about too, right? So C9 is trying out King right now. And granted, he's actually not that bad. I think he's actually pretty solid ADC, right? But he's not totally. Sven, though. Jenkins is not Alphari, though. That's the thing.
No.
Because if they were these players, they would have just started these guys over going out and buying a superstar. Overall. I mean, no,
100%.
Yeah. So what do you think about the Alphari thing, actually?
Well, to be fair, the Alphari thing kind of... There's a few things that are likely going on. I personally think that there's a little bit more to it than just, they had an argument.
No, yeah. Because
Alphari isn't Dardoch.
Yeah.
Like, just, yeah.
EU players have a different way of expressing how they feel. I would know. I talked to a lot of European people. Their humor, the way they speak is just very blunt. Like, they don't really mean it, like, go fuck yourself. Well, it's more of a... That's how their style of humor is, and that's how they blend it in with a lot of their way they talk to you,
No, totally. And to be fair, while it is likely that there is, like, more to it, I also do think that it's legitimately a good thing to try and get your substitute player a little bit of practice with the team. Because there have been situations... many situations in the past where legitimately having a sub that can pop in and change the team dynamic actually helps a lot. So having like a backup just in case, Alphari's their superstar, but just because he is their top player doesn't mean that the team also can't play around their other players. It's not like Tactical and Jensen magically are not able to carry games. Is Alphari crushing it right now? Absolutely. But if push comes to shove and Alphari, Lord knows, maybe he gets injured, maybe he gets sick on one of the days, and suddenly Jenkins has to come in, you can't just pull a TSM where I feel like if Power of Evil, if anything happens to him, TSM is just going to crumble into nothing. They will be bottom of the barrel team. Like it. So all of your eggs in one basket kind of strategy, it's probably nothing, but I do think that while they didn't make this decision lightly, and there's probably more to it, it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, there's a little bit more risk to it right now, but the fact is Cloud9's trying out King just to see if they can get a more aggressive AD carry going. And I mean, he is kind of scary.
Like he has it. Like you can see it in his laning. Like you can see it in his laning phase and how he plays teamfight. He's got it. But the issue here is like it's his first time with let's be honest, you're an actual team. This is not Mammoth, not Academy. This is obviously this is the real deal here. Like you could tell because in that game against Golden Guardians, we'll talk about later on. He got caught out obviously. And he knows. You see on his face, he knew he threw the game when he dove in as Kai'Sa under 2 towers. 2 tower shots get a kill. But the thing with the community is what I don't generally understand is like people will ask for answers. So when a player even says what is happening from their point of view, people decide to obviously, bash him for it. It's like, well, it's not professional. So you want them to just say nothing while you bitch about not having answers. That makes no sense.
People want a very specific answer. They want the...
But you'll never get that anyway. You know, you're never
Well,
even gonna get the full story though. Like, let's be honest with you, dude. After all these years of all these off-season dramas like Double List, Alphamas, everyone's, you're never, ever, ever gonna get the real story. It's always gonna be
true.
somewhere in between. That might also be a lie because it might become from only that person's point of view. You know, like,
Totally. Yeah.
where's the truth in some of these stories we've been told in the past? So people will say, well, the coach said this. The coach is supposed to just come out and say Alphari's been, I don't know, fist fighting with Jensen. No, he's supposed to tell you a fucking PR lie, you dumbass. Why would you believe that? You know?
Fair. You
Yeah.
know, that's 100% fair. I guess it's more just like he's going to come back and either Team Liquid's going to just go on a fucking tear, as we know they can, or something. Maybe Alphari's the next Dardoch. Maybe he's just going to. We don't know, but only time will tell on that one. The big one for me, though, like the spicy little nugget for me this week was, what the fuck did Dignitas put in their coffee?
Well, let's be honest.
Whatever the fuck it is, I want some.
Let's be honest here. Like, Dardoch was really good last split. Like, him and Afmaru were really good last split. I know people said, well, you know, Dig also kind of only won some games because teams kept throwing. That's not entirely true, but it's not entirely wrong either. You know, there was one game they had this week. Okay, so we'll talk about Dignitas first, since you want to allude to them. So Dignitas went 2-1 this week. They won against Evil Geniuses. They also won against who else did they play? Oh, they played against FlyQuest. Yeah, they just destroyed them. That wasn't even close to fair. And then they lost to 100 Thieves. So with Dignitas, there's a reason why I had Dardoch as my spring, my LCS spring split. I remember my LCS 2021 spring split MVP was Dardoch, actually, for the regular season, because he was absolutely crushing it for this team. Like, and people ask me, like, why did I have this guy as my MVP over someone like Blabber or Alphari? Because those were my other two candidates, was Blabber and Alphari. He has to play with so much less than they do. It doesn't really matter about the caliber of players you have. It's about he has to play with significantly worse players at peak level. Let's be honest, dude. Fake God, Saligo, and Neo at peak are not better than most of the top players on TL, TSM, and Cloud9. Maybe outside of like Lost, right? Or Spica, right?
No.
So he has to play with significantly worse players while also carrying games, while also impacting the game against other top tier players as well. That is literally MVP quality. It's not best player. That is literally MVP, because without Dardoch, if Dardoch leaves this team this year, they will be 8th place like they're predicted to be this year. I think without Dardoch or Aframu, either or, because they're both doing great things, this team would be nothing.
Sure, but you could also say a lot of that about, like, TSM is nothing without Power of Evil. I don't care how good Lost has been looking in some of these games. I really don't. You take Power of Evil out of the team, TSM is fucked. just all over. So it's kind of the same situation. Now, does TSM have better overall components than Dignitas? Yes, to a certain extent. I would say that you don't get to be, tied for third place by having bottom of the barrel like names. Is Fake God as good as Alphari? God, no. Is he as good as Fudge? God, no. Is he capable of holding his own against Someday? Yeah, kind of. He's a top 3, top 4 kind of top laner.
He's top 10 material, right?
he's top 10 material for sure. I would say he's top 5 material, to be honest, just based on how Impact's been playing the last little while.
Shit. Well, yeah, good God, man.
Let's and to be fair, Aframu has made me eat my fucking words. I thought he was washed up. He was never going to do anything good ever again. And holy sweet Jesus, is he just putting on a clinic in some of these games. He and Dardoch are just, they're elevating Dignitas for sure. But I mean, how's that different from, I don't know, Team Liquid with Core JJ and I don't want to say Santorin.
Yeah, because dude, I'm gonna be honest here. I'm just gonna be honest here, guys. Everyone that was raging about Santorin in the offseason when TL got him, I'm like, this is not gonna help their team. He's not what they need. He's legitimately not what they need.
No,
like
he's
I don't
really
even know what's the hype around this guy. He's always been pretty good to average. He's more of a what's that word? He's a supportive
Oh,
stabilizer jungler.
stabilizer.
He's not a true
Yeah.
carry jungler. They need a
No.
carry jungler. They don't need a stabilizer. You have a bunch of stabilizing players on your team. What? You have Core JJ,
Yeah.
Alphari, Jensen, and Tactical. They can't stabilize the game. You need new stars. Like,
To be honest, I almost feel like if Blabber and Santorian switched,
oh
like
yeah.
they would like Team Liquid and Cloud9 both would legitimately benefit. Because yeah, Blabber's fucking insane and can 1v9, but he's also an incredibly unstable player, or at least he's shown to be inconsistent, versus Santorian is literally the definition of consistent. And so it's like I feel like as good as Blabber is, it feels like he would be a better fit in Team Liquid, and Santorian would sometimes be a better fit in Cloud, which is just, it's hilarious like that. But they're on the teams they're on. Yeah, versus like TSM. Anyone who thought the TSM wasn't going to be top of the table after week 1, like the one top 3 team, top 4, I guess, yeah. No 100 Thieves. Yeah, no 100 Thieves made a bit of a change. Dignitas didn't change anything, but they're not really top 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, out of the top 3 teams, top 4 even, I would say, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Team Liquid, and TSM. TSM is the only one that didn't really play or make any changes this week. They played with the exact same team that they had from the start. So yeah, they're going to be coming in hot. They're comfortable. They have 0 changes to work with. There's nothing to worry about there. So yeah, they're going to play extremely well. And anyone who's super surprised about that is like, I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's also week 1. Like, people are factoring this is also week 1. Week 1s are always the most fun. The overreactions always kick in. And since we already talked about Dig and TL, just for this and TL, guys, Jensen and Santorin, Tactical, they were playing like some trash this week. Like, oh my god.
Oh, Tactical
For playing like some trash.
What I have never seen Jensen and Tactical this unimpactful. The fact that Jenkins comes in and is more impactful than the two of them.
That's ridiculous,
really,
man.
It is. Like,
yeah. Like, that tells you Alphari, his benching wasn't just like, it has to be something with the players though. Like, is it complacency? I'm not gonna say burnout because that's kind of redundant, but like, they're definitely not playing good. Like, they literally this week they were all playing like some trash. Like, outside of that, maybe close game against TSM. Outside of that, and they might have only played that well because, well, it was the first game of the season, first game back on stage. It was like, maybe the teams were like filling each other out. Like, I'm not saying TL can improve past this point, guys. What I'm saying is that these are some players with some decent high pedigree here. Santorin, Jensen, Core JJ. They did not look that good. Now, other teams I could care less for is CLG. They went 0-3. I mean, that's expected. What else would we say there? I mean, what else? What else is there?
CLG, we knew they were later into the season. As with CLG's roster, we said this at the very start.
Yeah.
I don't know a single person who disagreed with this, but we always knew they were going to burn out later into the season.
Yeah.
They would be good at the start because it's a shit ton of veteran talent. I mean, they've got Finn, Broxa, like
Pobelter,
Smoothie Wild. Like, they're all fucking veteran players. Yeah, they're going to gel well together. Yeah, they're going to be able to play around each other. And you know what? They might take a game or two. But as the season comes along, as teams really start to, especially teams like Cloud9, like teams like 100 Thieves, Cloud9, teams that have insanely talented mid laners, they are just going to take CLG and just skull fuck them. It's going to be bad. And it's going to get worse because I feel like Finn and Broxer are the only like real carry threats on there. And when you're relying on Finn and Broxer to carry you,
well,
yeah, you're in for a rough ride.
And
so,
like, Golden Guardians is something. I know they got their win against Cloud9, but let's be honest, you guys. That game was extremely, like, that wasn't even really extremely close. Cloud9 legitimately threw. Wise King and Blabber by themselves, not respecting Leona ult when it's right. Whatever. Okay, they upset Cloud9. Like, whatever. Let's see them do this again. That's all I say. I can't. They beat them once. Let's see them do it again. That's all I'm gonna
It's not
say.
going to happen again. Yeah, that game more or less just showcased that they're still they're still behind on the patches. They're still behind.
Mhm.
Every single game that Cloud9 has played so far has just kind of showcased that they're still practicing and still getting used to the patch
Yeah.
that they're on. That they're still, yeah, they got some practice on the Rumble. Blabber's Rumble didn't look like complete trash. Thank God.
Thank God, dude.
Okay,
Holy shit.
we're good. Um, and then like they didn't respect, they didn't play around the karma like they needed to in game number 2.
Hmm.
Karma is broken as fuck right
Oh
now.
yeah, Karma's really
Like
strong. Yeah.
yeah, you have all these comps that are just diving and engaging, and then you just have Karma just go, hey, by the way, guess what? You're engaged, useless. So Cloud9 drafted like fucking Renekton Malphite,
Holy
Leona.
shit.
I think it was still King on Hysa. Like they drafted this like massive
Hmm.
dive composition, and all 100 Thieves has to do is just go, hey Karma, mantra, woo, and it's done. Like full reset, massive fucking shield speed buff on everything, and it was just like they had a plan. Their plan was, hey Varus, hey FBI,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Guys, I love Cloud9, but you guys know I choose to be realistic with a lot of things I do in my life. I know, man, shocking. You can't be a fanboy. There's just one idiot on Reddit that was like, all you do is complain about Cloud9. Why do you post in here? I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry I don't have Cloud9's dick in my mouth like you do. Like, what the fuck? What? What? I'm sorry. We're just pointing out things in the game. People act like we're attacking their like their actual mothers or some shit. What the hell?
No,
they played bad
no.
this week. I mean, I like Cloud9 obviously, but like they played really bad. I don't care if they had 3 days of scrims. That's an excuse. Oh, they only had 3 days of scrims. That's an excuse. That's legitimately an excuse.
It is an excuse. It's also the reality.
True. Yeah.
Are we going to be like, oh yeah, they only had 3 days of scrims, that excuses them for 3 weeks of bad performance? Absolutely fuck not. Does it excuse them for 1 week of bad performances? I would say no. I would say they still should have closed
always
out.
Happens, yeah.
Yeah, I would say they still should have been able to close out the Golden Guardians. That was fucking sloppy as shit. The 100 Thieves ones, yeah,
Perks, you know,
Perks just fucking.
Dude, that's like the fucking Yasuo you have on your team is 0-7, but the Yasuo on the enemy team is like 11-0.
But then, like the next day versus Team Liquid, so 100 Thieves, like it was just pure feed, and then it feels like Perks was just like, all right, that was embarrassing. So top of the table, the other team that's probably going to be fighting top of the table, yeah, sorry about this, but nah, you're not allowed to play League of Legends today. You're playing Gray Screen Simulator.
Like, dude, I get people are kind of mad about Perks going 0-7 on Renekton, and they're like blowing up on Twitter on Twitter and fucking Reddit about that shit. It's like, how many games has he really looked that bad in? Outside of just MSI, which is, I mean, it's international competition against like Showmaker and people like Crying, so that's gonna obviously make sense why it's gonna be a little bit more harder for him to play against those guys. But it's like, I haven't seen a game out of him where he's just damn near feeding like this one, and it happens. I mean, like everyone's had games like this all the time. It happens. Like
they're like, disrespect someday and like got solo killed.
Yeah, walking that far close. He took like 3 boomerangs to the face. That's Malphite, and then he got solo killed. And just be honest here, Sunday's not a bad player though. I do think last split was not a good split for Sunday. And even 100 Thieves, we'll talk about them. They looked okay. The Cloud9 game was a stomp by their part. They played really well in that. The other games, I don't know how to really gauge them so far. Like, they did upgrade in the mid lane, and Abadage is a nice addition to their team, but I don't want to put too much emphasis on this yet, though, because I know I did that last split, and I want to just temper my expectations for what they have to offer so far. I think it's nice, some of the things I've seen of them so far, for just this week 1 performance right now, but it's like, it doesn't wow me. Nothing about what they did wowed me at all. It's just kind of like, okay, this is what happens when you don't have Omega Low Ryoma and whatever Demonte in the mid lane. Yeah.
So they won versus a hard carry, like hardcore dive comp. And to be fair, the composition that Cloud9 drafted It is dive or die. Like, just there is nothing else. You either dive the
Yeah,
enemy,
early game dive
and
compositions have to do that.
yeah, they do. And what we saw in that game was a textbook example of what happens when that plan fucking doesn't work, like, at all. And so, yeah, was it a stomp? Abso-fucking-lutely. But it was always going to be a stomp. It was going to be a stomp one way or the other. Either it could have easily, if the early game had gone in Cloud9's favor, we would have seen them just dive on top of FBI over and over and over again. FBI would have instantly died. Suddenly they have zero fucking damage because you drafted a Gnar and a Xin Zhao that I'm pretty sure he went like full tank. I think he went like Conquerors and tank, if I remember correctly on there. So, like, what are you gonna do? What's gonna happen? You're gonna dive in, kill FBI, and after that, nobody's gonna be able to do anything. So it very much could have been either way. Did 100 Thieves play well in that game? Yeah, they stomped it down, but that's not a good example of like 100 Thieves playing
Skill
well.
level.
It's an example of what happens when your enemy
turns off their brain and runs into like Fnatic. Turbo Fnatic into right into your face. You're like, okay, I'm Renekton and fucking this guy's diving me. All right, Karma Shields. Oh, your dive kind of is nullified. Like, overall, I don't think Cloud9 played egregiously bad except for the 100 Thieves game. Other than that, like, if you want to use if the fans want to use 3 days of scrims excuses, whatever, right? I still look at these as losses. That's how I look at them as a sports fan. I've always looked at them. Anything that's a loss is a loss to me. A win's a win. Yeah. But to be fair, their game against Team Liquid gave me an indicator they're just gonna ramp up. I don't have any doubt in my mind they're not gonna ramp up during the split. But they did look off this week. I'm not gonna say and deny that. But there was 2 teams that went 3-0 this week, and this surprised me. Xerxes playing out of his mind. I'm like, we finally got the unicorns of love Xerxes, he always played Rumble Jungle. That was his thing back in the EU LCS 2017 spring split. That was a while ago. He's like, okay, I used to play this anyway. Why not just play what I already was playing? And Raze looked in particularly absolutely really good. And like, I like the way Immortals looked, but like I said, the same thing with Immortals, like I said with Dignitas, the same thing kind of has to be said. Is it just week 1? Are they really this good? I'm going to temper my expectations so far. Same thing with TSM. They didn't play that bad. The games that they won against were against Golden Guardians, and they also won against...
TSM won versus EG, Golden Guardians, and Team Liquid.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the worst. I would say EG... What surprised me most was EG going 3-0 this week. Like...
fuck, dude.
That was
they threw against Dig really hard. Like,
they threw so fucking hard
pulling that
Dig.
fucking classic shit he did at Worlds 2018 where he just got randomly picked off and they lose a game. Why does he do that? Always, EG are winning a game, Juzuke just picks a moment to die and just lose the game. I'm not saying Dig played egregiously bad in that game because they had a way back into that game. But the fact that, like, I can't call Dig a great team when I see teams like EG have their mid laners like literally run it, and then like Dig is considered a good team. It's like, okay, true, they might have played well from behind, but you have to kind of factor in you don't get to that point without this guy throwing himself and dying. Like, you have to consider both things. Yes, a team that's behind can play well and can get that moment and seize it and do all the right things. Yes, that's true. But you only get into that position that I just described because someone does that. That's not you playing well. That's me messing up. It's like how I described luck in the game.
It's never going to work on the world stage because relying on your... Well, I'm sorry, Team Liquid tried that to do that at Worlds.
Oh, no.
Kind of saw what ended up happening there. Your entire strategy can't revolve around waiting for the enemy to fuck up because you're going to face off against enemies who are way better at not fucking up than any NA team. Cloud9 proved that any NA team can throw, and they can throw a lead hard.
God, dude.
So,
it's just one of those things where, like, okay, guys, factor this in. You're playing a game, you're 10,000 gold ahead, right? Now, would you call that team you're beating 10,000 gold down, good. If they came back from that game, you were 10,000 gold ahead. How did you even lose the game? That's luck.
Yeah.
And I'll describe how that's luck. The person that's 10,000 gold down should have nowhere any point back into the game. It's only because you messed up. That's why they came back to the game. You literally had to screw up like hard enough for them to have a way back into the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a.
100%.
That's literally what luck is. Like someone said, there's no luck in League of Legends. Oh, there's no luck in League of Legends. Really? So I'm 10,000 gold ahead against you, and
Kindred would like to have a talk with you.
Yeah, like, dude, remember the SKT game against EDG with like 9,000 gold ahead? Now that's different though, because people said, "What about that?" That's different though. They got a great opportunity to change the game. I'm talking on average, if you're that far behind, like some of these games were this week, there's no way you should be coming back in these games.
No.
It's just how it works though. I'm sorry, guys. That's proper League of Legends. When you have a league that big, you generally close out leagues that big. That's just how it works. Mm-hmm. The last thing I talk about is like FlyQuest. I mean, they looked okay. Dreams makes them better. This is what happens when you don't play Diamond. This is what happens when you don't play Diamond as your support.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. Like,
wow,
Licorice played really well.
Like, it's almost like when you have Licorice, Josedo, and Palafox, who aren't terrible players, and you don't have a support who just wanted to honor, I guess, the NA. Play Rel, honor the NA speed run to the airport tradition. Like, wow, you have a half decent team. Wow, that's so surprising. Crazy. Who would have thought this? Oh wait, everyone.
I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, this is just week one. As any week ones, please temper your expectations though.
A lot.
Yeah, like we'll talk about this more on, because like if you guys don't know this, our Cloud9 podcast is at Tuesday 6 p.m. PST, all Tuesdays, unless I change the time or I have to do a show early because of other life obligations, which is why I change the time sometimes. For week 2, since we like Cloud9, they have to face FlyQuest, CLG, and Dignitas. So bit of an easier schedule, but I wouldn't underestimate some of these teams either.
3-0? 3-0? 3-0?
TSM has to face 100 Thieves, and TSM is facing CLG. Oh, yeah, dude. TSM versus CLG rivalry. Holy shit.
Rivalry? Yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a rivalry, all right.
All right, so who's going to be your LCS 2021 Summer Split Week 1 MVP, if you had to pick one? Mine is... There's a motorcycle outside. Holy shit. Mine is gonna be Xerxes. Nah, fuck.
Yeah.
What are you guys, crazy? I'm picking Dardoch. What the hell? I got hard carrying. Or either or. Xerxes or Dardoch is fine, my personal opinion.
I'm gonna say, yeah. I'm gonna say Xerxes just because 100 Thieves did lose to IMT, and Xerxes just, well, don't get me wrong, Closer played decently well in that game, but Xerxes was just on another fucking level this week. So like I'm gonna give him the credit that he deserves for at least having a fucking incredible week 1. Here's hoping that he can continue to pull this off, because like honestly, he was scary. He was really scary. I thought King and like Jenkins in some of their games were scary. No. Xerxes put on his carry pants for that weekend. And like if he just straight up, if he continues to play at that level, we are going to have some very interesting things happen with Immortals. I can see them pumping up the standings real quickly if they continue at this. So, yeah, MVP for me, Xerxes. Closer, close second.
Close second? Are you making puns for the sake of making puns?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
All right, guys. Anything else you want to say, man, before we close this out?
No, thanks for having me as always.
Yep. You might be on next week, depending on how you act. You might be on. I don't want to see you on Twitter going, well, this guy wanted to order some food and
what's a Twitter?
I forgot. Oh yeah, I forgot. You said Twitter, and I quote is for incel virgin losers who had Satan come inside their mother. Okay, guys, I said that. That was me. He's gone. I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, a Way of Life Esports, and signing out, guys. Peace. Have a good day. See you guys later. Deuces. Peace.